Hi everyone, David here with more, introduction, if you will, to Solitaire ASL. Today I'm going to talk about how to set up a game. Now I'm going to talk about some points in here that will be referred to later. Well, how do I do this or how do I do that? So, well, that's fine, but first we're just setting it up. We're going to go from there. So what are you going to need? Obviously, Solitaire ASL, but also all of this stuff. We've got maps, we've got counters, we've got dice, chapter H, we got the Solitaire ASL rules, ASL rule book, I just did it myself in a binder, and a number of charts. But the first thing you're going to need is to figure out which mission you're going to play. In this case, for the sake of argument, I'm using bunker busting. Mission number 4. You can read the briefing and you can go from there. As you set up, you're going to need this, what is called a campaign game roster. I've already filled it out. That's okay, but I'll talk about how I did that. And this is a photocopy of the original version of this. This is from version 2. This is from version 1, Avalon Hill Game Company, etc. Okay, so you're going to need this, and a lot of this stuff has already been filled out. Now let's go back. Bunker busting. Prevailing attitude, hold. So simply I wrote down up here, prevailing attitude, hold. That refers to the prevailing attitude of the enemy. It is very important when it comes down to determine what the enemy does in its own turn. And you'll find this in the charts. There's a chart here, has enemy random events table, but you open it up here at the top, A2, enemy action table, hold attitude, and it talks about a number of actions. Again, when you're playing the game, that's important. Right now, you're just writing that down as a reminder. Next, you come down to the mission tables. A number of things, and let's read them out here left to right. We have our SAN, AC number, which is activation number, random event numbers for the friendly and for the enemy, and the booby trap level. Yes, there's booby traps. Okay. Pretty straightforward. Enemy SAN, roll 2 dice and you come out to it. Friendly SAN, same thing. AC number. In this case, you roll a single die and you write down what the result is. 2 or less comes to 2. The lower it is, the better it is for you. The higher it is, the better it is for the enemy. Enemy random event numbers and friendly random event numbers. I am going to talk a little bit more into detail on this. Okay, you simply write, you wrote a single die and you apply the results. Finally, the booby trap level, roll a single die, apply the results. Come to the table here, everything's been lit. Roll booby trap level C. We've got ourselves random events. The Russians on a 3 and a 4, Germans on a 4 and a 5. Random events, what does that mean? Let's go to the dice. It is the German turn. I roll 2 dice. I roll a 3. The wind change doesn't happen, but if it did happen to be a random event for the Germans, and I'm the German player, the friendly player, I go to my table. German random event table. And you roll it, then you apply it. Point to note. You will see random events for the Germans and for the Russians. These ones, by nationality, only apply to the friendly player. So if I were playing Russians as the friendly, then I would use the Russian table. I'm playing Germans, I'm going to use this table. What about the enemy? Well, this big page here that we've seen with lots of actions, actually folds out. Enemy, random event table. Again, once the game gets underway, that's what it is. So for example, suppose I rolled the 3, suppose that was the Russian turn. I roll a 3 or a 4. There's no effect on the wind, but the Russian table. I make another die roll and I come out with, let's say here, enemy recon, plane flies overhead during this, and this happens and that happens and so forth, and you just read it through. Okay, so that's what we've done. We've set that up. All right, map boards. Point to note right here, this is a good spot to talk about this right now. See how the brackets are here? Nice round curvy brackets. If it's like that, it refers to a chapter, into the rules book. Get the one down here with the little squiggly lines on either side. That refers to a table. In this case, Alpha 8 Charlie. This rule number 13. Okay. Map board selection. A8 Charlie. It talks about here. There's no brackets, but that's what the one you're going to have to do. That's a reference point, but it does say it down here. Make a random DR if it's going to be this or this. I rolled for B. Then, then you roll to see of which way the numbers go. Of course, the the map board is determined by a separate DR, 2 dice, for each from Alpha 8 Charlie. Over here, it's inside the enemy tables. Alpha 8 Charlie. Country. 2 dice. I rolled 2 dice and I came out for the first die. I think it was farmland and the next one was rural or vice versa. For example, farmland. I come down below, farmland. I roll 2 dice and I applied it. I think it was 17 was the first one and then the 4 was the second one or vice versa. I can't remember now. But that's what it came down to. And what I did on the table up here, north is off to the left. That's the enemy board edge, friendly board edge, the numbers. And this way I can look back at this sometime and I can say, wow, that's what it was. Okay, let's keep going. The suspect placement. Chapter 4. 4.1, cases A and B. Come up here. Chapter 4, case A. 1 suspect in each non-rooftop or non-sewer building, rubble, lumberyard location. B, 1 in each wood, brush location, including such depicted terrain, such as and on it goes. I'll explain that. The 1 in every building location makes sense, but why, David? There's none here. Well, on the friendly board edge, there are no suspect counters within 3 hexes of the board edge. So there's a building here, here, and over here we got some as well. There are no buildings. We keep going. They talk about all the building locations here, for example. Level 0, level 1, all the way through, all the way back on both maps. The next one, by map, for the woods locations. First of all, the woods have to be a contiguous woods, such as this, that have at least 3 that are contiguous. And of course, not within 3 of the board edge. Then we just simply roll a die, and if it's either odd or even, we apply it. For example, down here on board 4, we roll for evens. So if the contiguous board edge has 3 or more, and they can extend onto the next board, then everyone that has an even number, see there's none here, got a suspect. Just 1. It acts exactly like a, what do you call it there, for night, the cloaking counters. I mean, that could represent a whole bunch of stuff, not just one guy. And on board 17 over here, I rolled for evens, odds, so brush and woods, and they have to be contiguous all the way through. Over here, there's none going off the board. There's 3 there, so those 2 got it. This one here has a number. And if you come back out, you can see there are a number of them. And we keep going back. That's been done. Talk about mission end. Don't have to worry about that. Schedule, got it. Mission special rules. That's for during the playing of the game. The final one here is that the friendly guys get some reinforcements. I rolled the die, got an engineer section with an 8-1 leader, and a couple of toys. Okay, we've set up SASL to start. We've just set up. That's all we've done. We've placed some snipers down there. I've only just cursively placed them because, just to get them on the board. And my guys, they're set up, but they're not set up off board. We have not yet started the game, but we're ready to go. So, hopefully this was informative to you. And if it was, give me a thumbs up. And if I get enough, I'll make some more maps. So that's David signing out for now from Solitaire ASL. Take care.